You know, Julie, being that you are a newfound Vegas local, I don't think you've been to all the hot spots when it comes to the sweets here in Vegas, have you?
I haven't, which is a surprise given how much I love dessert and anything that I can just savor.
You do love your dessert. Most people in Vegas, they've heard of Ethel M as the chocolate factory with that Cactus Garden. That's how I found out about them too. I was going to the Cactus Garden and trying their tasting menu there. But the story is so much more interesting than that. And we're going to dive into this, not necessarily just you and I, because we have some incredible guests with us today. We have Lisa Vannerson, the creative and PR director, and Mark Mackey, the chief chocolatier for Ethel M. Lisa and Mark, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Having us.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. I get very excited for every guest that we have on, but I can see Julie's off camera right now, but I can see her drooling because she's checking out those boxes of chocolates that you got us that we're going to taste later on. And I'm very excited for it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Really excited to share them with you.
Yes, absolutely. So let's dive into the story a little bit, the origin story, if that's all right. So a lot of people know M&Ms, like in Snickers and Milky Way and Mars, but I don't think enough people know that Ethel M is connected. Their family is connected to that. Is that right?
Absolutely. You know, Ethel M, the M stands for Mars, and people, a lot of times just it goes right over their head.
Yeah, sure.
But back in 1911, so a little bit of a history lesson, Frank C. Mars started making buttercream chocolates in his kitchen in Tacoma, Washington, and his wife Ethel walked door to door to sell them. And that's how the company got started, the Mars Incorporated Company. So it goes back quite a ways.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So Forrest Mars, Sr., you already built this candy company. So how did he go from building that to where Ethel M is?
Well, so if I keep on with my history lesson, and
Yes,
kind
please
of
continue.
apropos with, our big anniversary coming up for the country.
Yes.
Forrest Sr. was his son, and they, in 1923, came up with the Milky Way. Sold it for 5 cents in 1923, and it was not named after the solar system. It was named after the drink that you would get, like a shake, right?
Sure.
And it was delicious, and everyone loved it. The two gentlemen went on. Forrest Mars Sr. moved over to England, and he saw some little candies that weren't melting in hands being made, and he decided that he was going to make the M&Ms. And that is what we know today as, melts in your mouth, not in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
He created the M&M. He moved back to the States. Those were used in the war, in World War II. It was rations for the soldiers.
Okay.
And then when he retired in the States, he got bored, moved out to Vegas, heard we had loose liquor laws, and decided to open up the factory that we still have today, which is so incredible, and that cactus garden that everyone enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
He lived upstairs, and he had a little dog, Susie, and he would walk the grounds every day and show the associates how to make chocolates the way his father did back in Tacoma, Washington. So it's a pretty cool story. It comes full circle.
I love that.
Yeah.
How many times have you told that story?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
You've got it nailed
Yeah,
down.
right.
I love that.
And that was 1981. That was 45 years ago. And we were talking about this earlier. A lot of people in Las Vegas don't know that we exist,
Yeah.
which just kills me because we've been a staple of the community and we're so proud to be here.
Blows my mind.
Yeah.
How long have you been with the company?
I've been here 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did they find you?
Well, so it's a
Or
little
did you
bit of
find them?
It's a little bit of a sordid past. So I actually was with Wrigley
Okay.
in Chicago many years ago, and I don't know if you follow the news. Mars bought Wrigley back in like 2008, so there was a little bit of a family tie there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a natural connection just to join the group and get back into the family.
I love that.
Yeah.
Is it true they named Ethel? Ethel was the name of the mother?
Yes. Yes. Forrest's mother.
Forrest mother.
Yes, and we have a box. I don't think we brought that one today. It's called our Classic Collection.
Okay.
And it is the 16 original recipes. So it's round. It's a beautiful box in the shape of a hat box. So sort of an homage back to those days when his mother was around. And yeah, it's all true. And you can see a lot of the history if you come out. We've got signage in the store. We have videos. You can see even traces of Forrest throughout the garden too, because that garden started very, very small back in 1981. If
Yeah.
you see pictures, you would die. And now it's huge and just, a staple in the community that people love to come out and check out.
Do you feel like Forrest started Ethel M with the intention of showing that he could do it? Or was there more behind for the reason of why he started Ethel M?
Maybe. I mean, I think he proved himself, right,
Yeah.
with the M&Ms. I think literally the story we heard is that he got bored and wanted to do something different and, took a lot of pride in it.
Yeah.
There's also actually I hope there's no children listening. The man who plays Santa on site at Christmas, he used to work in the factory.
Oh, no
He
way.
still tells stories of how Forrest would come down every day, and he had 2 newspapers, one for the staff to read at the lunch hour, and one for him and Susie to take upstairs and
That's
read.
so cool.
Yeah, but no, I think it was just a family pride thing, and he wanted to do that one last premium box chocolate in honor of his mother.
I can assure you that there better not be any children listening to the show. Otherwise, otherwise we're going to have some discussions. Yes. What do you feel? So how long has Forrest not been involved with Ethel M right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know the exact date, but he ended up selling the Ethel M part of the company to the Mars corporate company.
Do you feel like there's still his fingerprints are still on Ethel M? Like
Oh,
when you walk through the
absolutely.
factory or anything?
Absolutely. There's even rumor. There's even like ghost stories sometimes.
Ghost stories.
So we're like, oh, Forrest is here. Yeah. That's all in jest. But yeah, I think so. We actually, well, we're at our 45th year. 5 years ago, we had a big 40th reunion or anniversary party, and a lot of the folks that worked with Forrest came back for it. The landscaper who designed the garden,
Yes.
I think he's still alive. He came back for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of the, not a lot, a few of the men that worked the machinery with him. I know, Mark, you know very well, a lot of that machinery is some of the original stuff, right?
Yeah,
From back in 1981. So absolutely, he's still around.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And he lived like in the just above the factory, or is that true?
He lived right upstairs. You can actually see his patio still if you're down in the garden.
Yeah.
And all of that, for the most part, has been taken over by conference rooms now. But if you're lucky and you know someone to give you a private tour, you can see his bathroom with like the gold lame and the wallpaper and the 8-track cassette tape.
That's so
and,
funny.
Yeah.
How often do you go in there?
Not very.
Yeah.
I think when you first start, it's pretty interesting and you
Yeah.
want to go up there. But then in 110-degree weather, you don't really want to walk across that parking lot
No.
to see it. Yeah.
That's so funny. I know a lot of this you tell in the tour that you get that people go to. So I don't want to share too much without spoiling a little bit. But I always thought there's so much history behind it, and there's so much more than just chocolates,
Right.
which I'm so fascinated by. But I love that you guys have built a true experience of almost like a timeline of how it got started to where it is today, and like the gradual growth of it, which is just so intriguing to me. Why was Henderson chose as the location?
I think back in 1980 or 79, I think is when they broke ground, there was probably land available. I think Howard Hughes probably had a hold on the other
Yeah.
side of the valley,
Yeah,
and Forrest probably saw, all that land available. I will say I give him a ton of credit for having the foresight to buy as much as he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, also, we have a 4-acre solar field in the back, so our garden is partially powered by sunlight during peak season, which is nice. He also bought all that land for the factory, and then the garden. I'm guessing he just saw, an opportunity out there, and like I said, it wasn't the other side, and he decided to settle over in Henderson.
If Forrest walked in today, what would you think he'd be most proud of?
I think just that we all take such pride in the company. I mean, I sort of feel like I'm a Mars member, but I'm not. But we do. Like, we all take such pride, and we're so proud to work there. Like, when I moved here from Chicago and people ask where I work, I was thrilled to tell people, because a lot of people do know where, they're like, oh, Ethel M, we know that from when we were kids and we took, field trips or whatever. But I think he would love that we're all still so proud, and that, Mark is still continuing on with the original recipes, but then he's also iterating and bringing innovation to the experience, like you said, because we all have to evolve with the times or we're going to die.
Yes.
Right?
And
Mark,
there's still the handmade aspect of it,
Yeah.
right? So nowadays, especially with Mars, there's a lot of automation with other products.
Yeah.
Our truffles are still handmade. We airbrush like the actual molds with colored cocoa butter, as you'll see a little bit later. But there's still that like handmade like artistry that applies even today, which even with the best machinery, you can't replicate
Right.
human hand. It's that little extra special touch that I think makes our chocolates a lot different than others.
And that's why you're the chief chocolatier, because you notice those small details like that.
Yes. Yeah.
What a fantastic title. If I was a chief chocolatier, everywhere I would go, I would say my name and my title. It doesn't matter where I am.
It's interesting. Like, so my background, like originally, I wanted to be a chef, like
Sure.
went to culinary school, and when you're in school, you're kind of taught it's like, no, you're not a chef. Even with the most like accreditations and experience. It's like, no, I am a cook.
Yeah.
Like, even some of the world's top chefs, it's like they sometimes kind of cringe when you say that, because it's just, we're just here because we love this. Like,
Yeah.
we're passionate about food. We're passionate about what we're creating. And, the title is kind of just,
Secondary.
It's just kind of, exactly.
When did you, I mean, you obviously wanted to be in the culinary industry. At what point were you like, okay, now I'm honed in on the chocolate side of things?
Honestly, it was really by chance. I grew up outside of Seattle, Washington, and, from a very early age knew that I wanted to be involved with food. Like watching, Graham Kerr, Julia Child,
Julia
and
Childs.
Emeril. Yeah. On like public, at the time I think she was doing a show with Jacques Pepin on public PBS. And I was just like enamored. Like, I could not take my eyes like off the TV, and like watching them prepare food and creating, dishes that excited other people. Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Worked at an Italian restaurant down the street, washed dishes for many months,
Yeah.
kind of moved up through the ranks, and quickly, decided to say, I need to go to culinary school. I want to be a chef. I want to be a cook. I want to do this. And went to Culinary Institute of America out in Hyde Park, New York. The time, and still today, I think it's a very highly regarded, university for culinary and pastry. And graduated, still not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Do I want to try to own a restaurant? Do I want to, go and work for like the Food Network and try to be like the next Emeril or something? And I fell into chocolate really by chance. I was planning to go back to school to Cornell to finish my degree, master's in hotel and restaurant management. And there was like a 6-month lag between graduating and when the next program started.
Yeah.
And I saw this internship pop up at Mars. Actually, at the time, it was called Master Foods USA in New Jersey. And I said, that'll be something kind of different.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, kind of taking the science and kind of blending it with a little bit of the culinary artistry. And, I was like, oh, this will be kind of fun, 18-week internship. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, sure.
And, I interviewed. They asked me to come and intern. So the interview went well, obviously. And very quickly, I was just like really just shocked at not just like the technical skill that is required, but how difficult and complex chocolate is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like, even if you do everything perfectly, you can still mess it up.
Yes.
Like, depending on the environmental conditions, the humidity, all of these things, it's just like, and that constant like challenge and complexity is just like keeps me going.
Yeah.
Keeps me like
Love that.
engaged. But yeah, quickly, kind of fell in love with that, and have luckily been able to find roles within Mars that have been able to kind of allow me to be creative.
Yeah.
And also, still maintain somewhat of a normal, or I would say stable work-life balance, right?
Well
Which
said.
In restaurants, sometimes, can get a little hectic.
Oh, for sure. On the Ethel M side, on the culinary side, how many people would you say are above you in terms of the decision making of what product gets put out there?
At Ethel M, I mean, I would say the head as far as R&D. I mean, my manager and our sales and marketing director kind of have the final say with a lot of those decisions, but I would say a lot of it rests with me, I think. Yeah.
We get very excited when Mark walks out with this white box because we know we all get
know.
to taste test.
Yes.
Yeah. And just like, you're going to laugh, but just like wine,
Yeah.
there's a spit cup because sometimes we have to taste so much. It's like, what about this lemon or this lemon? And we're like, oh my God, you didn't know that so much goes into it. Yeah. But at some point you get tired of eating it. So you're like, but
Yeah, no, spot
it's
on.
a real thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's amazing with it all.
It's yeah, because you're trying to get like this balance of, let's say, something that's very strong, something like lemon, right?
Yeah.
Or another sour fruit. You want to balance that with the chocolate, with like another texture or ingredient. Any one of those things could be out of balance, which could throw the whole piece off. And so to get that right, you have to try, at like 8 to 12 different, iterations of that same piece. So
How many products would you say, under your reign of being the chief chocolatier, you've put out or created?
Oh gosh.
Hundreds?
So, I mean, so I've been with Ethel M just about a little over 10 years. Individual pieces, I mean, yeah, I want to say at least least like 50,
Probably.
more.
That's
I mean, if you're considering, like, we do a lot of limited releases too,
Okay.
or like tests and things. So, yeah.
Is
But
there? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just, it may not sound like, but you know, if you think about like everything that goes into like one piece, right, and all of the ingredients, and you know, from there, all of the like item setup side of it, you know, and making sure that everybody in the factory is following the recipe, you know, and making it and able to repeat that and be consistent, you know, time after time is where a lot of the work comes in.
Yeah, sure.
You know, because it's anytime you have like a handcrafted piece like we do, right, like if you adjust the setting on like the spray gun a little bit, right, you could have a very different effect, right, which might be nice, but it may not be what we're looking for. And
Yeah.
so trying to make sure that we hone all that in is really, really important as well.
How long does it take to go from not necessarily inventing a new piece, but making a piece from scratch to the person eating it? How long does that process take?
So, I mean, from the kitchen, like, you know, typically when we think about creating like a new piece, right, like we'll think about what are, you know, interesting and unique flavors, like what are the things that are trending, you know, what, if some of us have gone like on vacation overseas, like what are they doing overseas in,
Yeah.
say, China or Japan, right? We'll come up with a concept, you know, we might create something in the kitchen, present it to, you know, our leadership team. It may not be, you know, something that's for that next season, or it could be something that we're developing for the future. But I would say from when they approve that, you know, we could be potentially on the shelf, I would say maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Kind of depending on how complex the piece is and the packaging, if we're going to develop a brand new box for it,
Yeah.
right, or a new tray or something. Sometimes the lead times there can be a little longer. But if it's something limited that we're just launching and kind of testing, you know, 6 months or less.
Which, by the way, is amazing. Really.
Yeah,
Yeah, like if you were to look at the larger company to get a new M&M out or something, it's going to probably take a lot longer than that. So
Really?
kudos to Mark and the
I mean,
team.
they're-
Like, yeah, everyone's very nimble and they turn it around. Yeah,
Yeah, if you're talking to chefs,
We're
in
small and
restaurants, it's
scrappy.
Probably
Small and scrappy. I
that's
like
what we
that.
are.
that
yeah.
probably that timeline. If you're talking to like a chef, right, like a
Yeah.
restaurant, it's probably like, oh my gosh, takes you that long. But like
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us, it's, you know, I think, yeah, if you're looking at like a new flavor of Snickers, they're probably like 3 to 4 years out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
minimum.
Internationally, where do you say your inspiration comes from with your chocolate cuisine?
It honestly will depend on where I go on vacation.
Really?
A lot of times, like
He's in love with Japan.
I
Oh, yeah?
do, like I
So
love
jealous of you.
Japan. So we launched. Actually, we have some samples here. We did a. So I went to Japan a couple of years ago and had my first. You know, there's Japanese citrus. So there's obviously yuzu, which is kind of like a combination of lemon and lime. There's also one that I really fell in love with called sudachi.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit. It's like lemon, not quite as I want to say, like tart in your face, but it has a lot more floral notes, which I think make it a lot like more exciting of a flavor than lemon. Although lemon's great.
Yeah.
You know, we actually paired that with a mixed berry like cream in a truffle. So there's 2 layers. There's a sudachi layer and a mixed berry layer. And so the way that you eat it and when it melts, the sudachi melts first, you taste that, and then the berries come in. And it's really it's one of my favorite pieces, I think, that we developed over the last year. But
I could listen to you talk about chocolate all day long, by the way.
Right.
it's
Wait till he gets into like ingredients. Sometimes it's like a foreign language.
Yeah.
He'll talk. I'm like, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
it's fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, going into the kitchen, like, how can you not, like, I mean, you're tasting
It's
chocolate.
chocolate.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And Delisa said, like, to her point, you know, it's like, yeah, sometimes for tasting 12 or 15 iterations of something, it can be a little bit too much. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, like I'm creating something that's going to make somebody smile.
That's so cool. Is there a flavor that you've tried to make work that hasn't worked? That you're just, it's like
So-
your Moby Dick.
A
Look,
lot
I'm like,
of-
yes.
I will say, so, you know, I mean, any great success I found, like, you have to fail, right? Like,
Sure.
you have to come out with idea, like, oh, this is going to be the next best thing. I've had plenty of those, and they just haven't taken off and worked. One of them, I think, was, you know, several years ago, I had this crazy idea. I was like, you know, the chocolate-covered raisin is so, like, commoditized, right? Everybody knows about chocolate-covered raisins, and how could we take that concept and elevate it? So
Right.
there was a company that was selling dried wine grapes. So Cabernet, Merlot, Chardonnay wine grapes, right? So that's a really nice, like, elevated raisin, essentially, right? And I was thinking, like, oh, we could take that, we could chocolate coat it, And it would be like, elevating that experience and something really cool, right? People know chocolate and wine, great pairing, and flavor combinations there. So I got these wine grapes in, spent a bunch of time. It's called panning. So we'd have it's almost like a cement mixer on its side.
Okay.
And it kind of rotates.
Yeah.
And so you put whatever you want in there. So chocolate covered almonds are made this way. So you put let's say my almonds in there. I'll put my grapes in there. You put a small amount of chocolate in. As that pan rotates, that center will become coated evenly with chocolate. And so you're building up basically very, very thin layers, layer after layer, until you have your final panned piece, right? So I had these grapes these dried wine grapes brought in, and I panned them up. And what I failed to realize was they're not these wine grapes are not they are like raisins, but there's one very important difference, and that is seeds. So these wine grapes, although they were delicious, they had all these little seeds in them. And so people, I think, when we started doing some small consumer testing and focus groups, it was just people didn't like them.
Yeah.
Like
So-
spit in your mouth. Yeah.
You're so
I was like-
close. You were
yeah,
so
you're
close.
I was like, how
yeah.
cool would that be?
But we did go forward with them, didn't we?
We tested them
We
one
tested
season,
it. Okay.
and they
one
didn't
season,
sell.
because I remember I was like, how do we market this?
That's so funny.
It's this pruny little
they
thing
didn't
covered in
sell.
chocolate. That has seeds in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a one and done. The one that I was thinking of, but actually it was really delicious. It just didn't resonate with audiences. I mean, we went live with it. Was lemon blueberry, and it was I can't remember.
Well, we're
Was that
bringing
in
that
dark?
back. So
Oh, we are?
that
Oh.
was
Ooh, a little insider info. I like that. How
well,
about that?
Hey.
we're still kind of
But it
Breaking
was
news.
delicious. Like in the summertime, it was refreshing.
Yes.
But it just didn't. I don't know.
I think so with that one. So one of our best-selling pieces is our dark chocolate lemon satin cream, right? So you have this tart lemon center, molded inside of dark chocolate. So it's really interesting and neat because you have this tart lemon center, and then the dark chocolate will melt and kind of cuts that sweetness and that sourness, and it introduces some earthy notes, some bitterness, which when it kind of rounds out on your palate, it's this amazing experience. It tastes like you're eating a one-bite dessert,
Yeah.
or a two-bite, plated dessert. And so on that note, I was like, oh, that'd be great if we created a line extension of kind of different pieces based off of the lemon. So I was thinking lemon blueberry, and in my head, I was like, okay, we'll blend these together and put them inside of a piece. It was good, but I think the part that didn't click, and it actually did later on, was that in blending them together, it kind of also blended the flavors. So although you could taste the blueberry and the lemon, it wasn't as exciting of an experience as if it would be when they were separated.
Yeah.
So fast forward 2 years, we started developing truffles with two centers. So we'll have
That's a good idea.
a orange and cream, for
Yeah.
example, so a mandarin orange and a vanilla ganache layer. When you separate the flavors that way on your palate, they melt differently. And so that experience now becomes so much more exciting because the flavors are kind of, bobbing and weaving, and it's not just like a homogeneous thing. And so I say it now because we're actually doing that. We've kind of split those into some new truffles. So splitting the lemon, splitting the blueberry into a new piece that I think is going to be a better 2.0 version.
I'm glad.
It's so funny. We've had Chef James Trees on, who has definitely world renowned and incredible local chef, a lot of local restaurants. Hearing you talk about chocolates and the detail and the passion that I can tell is the same way that Chef talks about any of his menu items when he was talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to see how, even if it's a different industry, it's not necessarily culinary, but Jonathan Jossel, the CEO of the Plaza, the detail, the attention to detail, and the passion and the small little things that when they discuss what makes them different or how they got to where they are, I see that so much in both of you. You both are a phenomenal representation of Ethel M. Whoever's at
Raises?
at the top, yes. Have them come to me. I'll recommend raises. I'll recommend whatever it is you need. Keys to the city. You both got it because you both do such a great job at representing the company, which is phenomenal. I'm so excited the two of you are here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's I think you hit the nail on the head. It's if you're not passionate about what you do, it's it becomes evident, right? And
Yeah,
it's
sure.
You're not going to want to put in the extra hours and the extra effort to really perfect what you're doing unless you really love it.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah,
It's-
and I think you see that in all aspects of Ethel M. So you've been to the store. When you walk in, you're greeted right away. We all know the world's a different place than it was, right? Of
course.
Sometimes you walk into a restaurant, people don't even make eye contact with you. They don't say, hi, what can I do for you? That's one of the key things when we interview for our retail associates, it's how do you interact with people, and can you talk to them, and can you make them feel comfortable? Like, it is a luxury experience, and we all take great pride in it, from all the way at the top to, all of us that work the day shift.
So, Lisa, then when you're telling the story about the history and the origin and where it is today, I know anybody can read off a script, but what's important for you to really emphasize or convey when you're sharing the story of where they were or where they are today?
I think a lot of it's that we're a family-owned company, and we still are. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Mars is still a privately owned company, which gives them the flexibility to do a lot of things that companies that are looking at the street can't do.
Yeah.
I will say with pride that when COVID happened, we all maintained our jobs. No
That's
one was
great.
let go. I mean, we all did different things. There were times that I had to get my food handler's card and I had to go work a line in the back. It was like that I Love Lucy thing, right?
Yeah.
But the family made sure that everyone was well taken care of. I mean, Ethel M, we call it the jewel in the desert because Ethel M Chocolates, it really is that premium luxury prized, possession that the family loves because it was started by their grandfather or their father in some cases. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're all just really proud and happy to be a part of it and want to keep that passion alive.
I love that. One more topic, Julie. Calm down before we get into the chocolates. I know.
No, my stomach's growling.
I could
just
hear it from
thinking
here.
about
You
it.
gotta tone it down, Julie. Just foaming at the mouth. Can you share with us a little bit more about the Cactus Garden and the holiday lights? Because the holiday lights are so much fun, but the Cactus Garden, just in general, year round, is so beautiful to see. And if you have a family or you're with on date night or whatever, it's just a cool place to check out outside of devouring chocolates too.
Yeah, it really is. It's 3 acres. It's called one of the best botanical cactus gardens in the Southwest. So 3 acres, over 300 species of plants. Some of them are not native to Nevada and they've been brought in, but they're still fantastic to see. We're really proud that, for the most part, it's free and open to the public most days of the year. During the holidays in November and December, we do charge a fee of $3 per person, but half of that goes to 2 of our partners here in town, local charities. 3 Square Food Bank, which I know you guys are aware of, and Help of Southern Nevada. So one of the things that the Mars family is really big on too is giving back. And we all volunteer in the community, and we want to. We also want to be a staple in the community to make sure that folks know we're here and that we're supporting. So in addition to the giving back, the lights turn on in early November. There's over 1 million lights. Like I said, it's $3 to get in. Santa's there. There's a lot of photo ops. It's magical because, again, coming from the Midwest, you would always see evergreens decorated.
Yeah, sure.
Who in the world ever saw cacti decorated? And it's really, really neat. It's a great experience.
Ethel M can literally do no wrong. You guys are just pristine.
I don't know about that. You ask anybody, we have signs in the garden that say, do not sit on a rock. And then people sit on a rock and then
Well,
they
that's
fall
just-
and then they
that's
get mad
just-
at
what are
us.
you gonna
So,
do?
yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, let's take a quick break. Let's get set up for these chocolates. Julie is so excited for this, I can tell. And we will take a quick break and we'll be right back. Julie, I think a lot of people think the reason that I have a podcast, when I have musicians on, they think I just want to have my own personal concert, which is very true.
I was about to say what you do.
Yes, that's true. And then when we have chefs on or restaurants on or business owners on that bring food or bring goodies, they just think that I have a podcast just for that amenity as well. And it's also very, very true. And fortunately, because Lisa and Mark are lovely guests from Ethel M, they have brought us a tremendous amount of chocolate that we get to try live on air. And before we dive into it, I know it's hard to see, but we have some video that will overlay. The presentation on this, Mark, is phenomenal. What is, we get the American flag here, which looks so delicious. Each one of these truffles, you can tell the attention to detail that goes into them. I mean, when you're decorating this, do you see the vision before it's actually made, or do you just kind of go as figure it out as you go along?
Yeah, so a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I will say, so about 2 years ago, we moved to, completely natural colors or colors from natural sources. And in that, the natural colors themselves, they're just not as vibrant, right? And so they require a lot more care and in how they're applied and actually have to be layered. And so what you think is going to come out or what shade you think is going to come out may not necessarily be exactly what comes out. So there's a little bit of like mixing and matching on the end to kind of get the like kind of the color that we were looking for, and then just the effect inside of the box as well.
I love that. So can we try some of these truffles right now?
Yeah.
All right. So I am about to grab this yellow one, which I am not sure. I think you mentioned what it was.
That's our white chocolate Alfonso mango truffle.
And
so,
is there a rule to biting into this?
well, I mean, I would say, so normally we would take you through, we'd say, okay, well, you want to, kind of smell it a little bit, right? Because
I've already been smelling mine back here.
everything,
Julie's just smelling all the chocolates back there.
Trying to be patient.
kind of helps to prepare your palate, rather than just, taking a bite, but smelling, kind of thinking about what you're smelling and what you will be tasting, right? So you should be getting a little bit of floral, some sweet dairy notes, maybe a little bit of vanilla, and then take a bite.
A full bite or one?
I would say about half.
Half bite?
Take about, so each truffle's about 2 bites. Take a look at the inside. You can see that beautiful white chocolate mango ganache.
Oh my God.
Silky smooth, really melts, really nice and like silky smooth on your palate.
Yeah.
You get some of that floral tropical note coming from the mango and some of the creaminess from the white chocolate.
I'm sorry, I couldn't let you finish. I had to take the second bite. It was so good. Oh my God.
So usually that's a great, anything white chocolate, we have like a tasting. We'll start off with white chocolate or the white chocolate mango. 'Cause it's a great kind of just like level setting, not too complex. And then from there, we'll start to kind of go up into milk chocolate, start to talk about and taste caramels, different nuts, and then we'll move into dark. So kind of like a wine, how you have a wine tasting kind of stage, the same thing. We start off with lighter, kind of fruitier, and move to darker, richer, heavier.
Oh my gosh, so good. Is this the one with liquor in it, or is?
Those are our summer fruit fusions truffles. The ones, so the blue truffle in the upper, the creme liqueur in the upper left here.
Part of the American flag.
Yes.
Yes.
Tequila, a part of the American experience as well.
Is it also a
That is
two-biter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll go.
Have your napkin ready, yep.
Yes. So that one is a tequila forward
But
creme
again, you
liqueur.
can tell it's all fresh, right?
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
okay.
That's why we always tell people, have a napkin ready. Yep. Sorry, Mark.
And that's Cazadores and Añejo tequila in there. So we're using premium spirits in all of our creme liqueurs, and you really taste it. It's definitely not playing around.
Funny story. I was at an equestrian event a few years ago, and we were selling our bourbon barrels. We called them bourbon, and again, it's an actual real bourbon. And this lady took a bite, and she said, "Oh, that tastes like real bourbon." And I said, "It is." Go figure, yeah. So again, I think that's part of when you look at our chocolate, it's whether it has liquor or not, the ingredients are real, and it's not really for children. It's made to savor and enjoy.
Oh my gosh.
You can see like the swirl right in the truffle there in the back.
This one?
Or sorry, in the front, the cream box, right? You see kind of the white swirl and some of the different effects there. I mean, literally, we have our artisans. They are taking a paintbrush and they are painting the inside of those cavities. The one
in right here?
Oh no, in the front cream box that you have.
This is the cream box?
Go this way.
This is the cream box?
No, the front cream box you just had.
Or
That one?
tan. He's colorblind.
Come on,
This one?
But you can see, no, the one that's on the opposite end, there.
Right here?
No, next one over.
Okay, how about
There you
this
go. There.
Yeah, there we go.
The white
Oh, look
swirl.
at that. There it
There
is.
we go. Finally.
I knew we'd get
My
that.
sense of direction is not.
My other left. Yes, of course.
But you can see, like that swirl, we actually have, an artisan is painting that with a paintbrush, and then there's a color cocoa butter that's sprayed behind it to kind of give you that effect. So there's actually 3 different passes that we make just to create that one piece.
Wow.
And you can't replicate that with
No.
even robots. Like it's not, doesn't give you the same effect.
So Ethel M isn't utilizing AI or anything like that in their
I will
in their
say
production process.
when we do inspiration, when I'm looking at like, okay, what's trending, right? What is, what are the top restaurants doing in Asia, in Europe? That's definitely, I'm taking a look to see, okay, even like looking at what's really cool now about AI is, it's actually looking at food molecules. So believe it or not, like a lot of the best pairings within chocolate and food, part of the reason is because they share molecules, or they have the same molecule or very similar molecules.
Okay.
So if you look at caviar and white chocolate, you'd be like, what? Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. But if you look at it, there's actually, and I don't know the exact name, but there is a molecule that they share. And believe it or not, those two foods are actually fantastic to use.
Really?
And they work, yeah.
Never
the
would have
same-
guessed that.
Yeah, it's and so AI is kind of doing a lot of that work, and a lot of those notes and like is basically computing, and it's giving you some of these combinations of things to try. I will say some of the things that I've looked at, I'm like, I don't know that that's going to work, and it didn't.
It doesn't
out.
work, yeah.
But it's another tool, right?
Yeah.
In the toolbox, it helps you kind of assess, like, okay, here's some really interesting, cool things. Let's give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on, and how that,
I love
works
that.
with chocolate. So
What about
To
this?
answer your
Yeah,
question,
yeah, please.
no, AI is not making anything.
No.
in the
Yeah, okay, yes. Nothing on the
Let's just
production
set the
side.
record
Yes,
straight, right.
For sure. On this box over here, what do we have? What's
Oh, those are okay. So they're not out yet. I wanted to share with you just a few things that we're working on for holiday.
Yes.
So that's going to be our holiday bakery collection. So each of those is a kind of a holiday satin cream that is based on like a holiday cookie or holiday Christmas Hanukkah cookie, things that we're creating kind of with our friends and family in the kitchen.
Oh my God.
We wanted to kind of reimagine them in a chocolate form. So I'm not sure which you had the.
It had a little like a
Oh, perfect.
sprinkle line or something.
So that's a cookie butter. So we take actual speculoos cookies and blend those into our satin cream center, and then we add a few on top as well, along with the speculoos cookie and the cookie butter are both in that. So you can kind of taste inside, like the crunchies. That's actually the real cookies. So we also have a peanut butter cookie. We have a peppermint and a gingerbread as well that I'm really excited about. So.
It's the beginning of July, and I am so excited for the holidays already right now. Just after tasting that one piece of chocolate, phenomenal.
Isn't it great?
It's so good.
And it's like, it kind of, like for me, it kind of brings me back to, making cookies or during the holidays, right? Home from school and kind of like hanging out with the family and
Yes.
making desserts at home. So
I love that.
And I do want to say, I feel like it's really rare, and I'm in my late 20s, but like as I've gotten into adulthood, it's hard to feel like a holiday spirit or something that actually brings back the nostalgia. But I tried the same one Andrew did, and it was like, oh, I'm back home with my family making the holiday cookies that we always made. But that was, I mean, I know I've been quiet, but it's because they're so damn good. All I can
Look
think
at
about
you
is when I
making
can
us
get
time
more.
travel to back in the
Right?
day with your chocolates.
I will say, I mean, so this was, we had a food scientist that joined us a few years ago
Yeah.
from Clemson University. So this was like one of her first big projects. And so it's really exciting to kind of see her take, a concept and idea of something in our kitchen that we were just kind of back and forth playing around with,
Yeah.
to actually see it into a translated, like finished collection. So really excited
That's
to see.
cool.
Shout out to
how
Natalie.
that-
Shout
out
out
to
Natalie.
Natalie, yeah.
How long did that take Natalie from when she came in and stepped foot in?
It's funny. So that actually was something I gave her, I think, a prompt. I said, hey, we want to create some new, interesting holiday-themed pieces. And I kind of gave her like a few prompts, and she went off and created, kind of something very similar to this.
Yeah.
A year and a half later, we actually brought it back. We said, hey, like, remember those like pieces that you made way back a year and a half ago? Like, let's take those and like kind of move them forward. Let's like, refine them, polish them, and turn them into delicious pieces. And we've tested this a few times now, and yeah, like really, really excited about it. We think it's going to be a wonderful, part of our holiday portfolio.
I'm going to be your number one buyer. By far.
I'm pretty
you
sure
speak?
Santa will be too.
Santa.
I can already see the marketing.
Yes.
Santa, move over, cookie plate.
That's right. Sign me up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
They're good.
that blew me away of how good that
Isn't
piece
that
of chocolate
like,
was.
and it's like, it's right in your face. And that's like one thing I think as well that separates us from everybody else is, you can taste the freshness of the ingredients
Yeah.
and like the crunchiness, right? We're not trying to put things in there to hide, chocolate flavors or to make things, something that they're not. And yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it really does translate really nicely.
Let me tell you, you've ruined every time I go to the gas station, I get a chocolate bar. You've ruined it for me. I just want to let you know that. I will never be able to eat a Snickers bar and enjoy it as much anymore because of how delicious these are.
Well, Snickers has its place.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, of course.
You're
Snickers
not
has its
you
place.
when you're hungry. So
done.
make sure
You're good.
Make sure you
You're
have Snickers
good.
when you're getting hangry. Yeah, yeah, it has its place, and that's kind of what I mean. Like, we are to savor.
Yes.
We're not that immediate consumption like M&Ms and Snickers, right?
Well said.
But they have their place in the world.
And not to, I'm gonna get in trouble for sharing,
Oh, boy.
spilling too many secrets. But I'll say, you mentioned Snickers. We are working on, right now, what would an upscale luxury chocolate bar look like, right? So think about like a Snickers. Like, how could we take that? That's made with quality ingredients, right? But how could we take that and go crazy with it?
Sure.
Right. So how could we source, let's say, Argentinian peanuts, right? Using Madagascar bourbon vanilla. Translating that into let's say it's a luxury Snickers bar, or a luxury, let's say Milky Way bar, or other, candy bars or chocolate bars that folks love. How could we take that and really just reinterpret, kind of create something new and different?
You're speaking my love language right now. This is just
I
Snickers
brought
bars to the next level.
I brought you a
Blows my mind.
sample of another one too
yeah.
that you can try. So
Oh my gosh.
it's
I'm gonna have a
You're
You're
sugar
going to go
crash.
run after this.
Exactly.
some
Yeah. I'm running back home after this.
taking feedback.
Yeah, I love it. One last question before we get into this American flag. How often do you revisit the shelved items that you used to sell and maybe don't sell anymore? Like you did with the holiday ones.
Yeah, I think, a lot of, I would say innovation sometimes can be cyclical, right? So there's something, I've been working for Mars now for 20 years, with Ethel M for 10, and there are things that I worked on as an intern that I'm that would be so cool
Right.
now to bring back, right? And so I find all the time it's things that may not have been the right time or the place to launch then might be something now that I want to kind of bring back, and it happens frequently.
Yeah.
It's even just combinations of ingredients and things that I thought might not work out.
Yeah.
That but it happens constantly.
I love that. It's constantly.
But I think
evolving.
those, like I said, it's, obviously holiday, we always want to have holiday themed pieces and holiday flavors, but, thinking about okay, well, we've done it this way. How can we do that a different way? How
Right.
could we introduce a different texture to really turn that on its head and create a different experience, right? So
You're
that's
always
the fun
creating,
part.
always evolving, always thinking of what else you could do. I love that.
Exactly, yeah. And with chocolate, it's it's kind of like wine. You have maybe the same type of cocoa,
Yeah.
but depending on where it's grown, where around the world it's grown, right, it can have a different flavor profile. Some cocoa is more fruity and floral, others more nutty and caramely, others are more earthy, and so figuring out, okay, I want to use this chocolate, this cocoa from here,
Right.
combine it with this piece that I'm creating to really give you that best, experience.
Love that.
Yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's
I love the passion behind it.
Yeah.
I love when you're talking about it, you're smiling, which is awesome. Let me tell you something. I used to build, I still do, but when I build websites, I don't smile anymore when I'm talking about websites because I'm so burnt out of them. You, sir, are still smiling ear to ear when you're talking about chocolates.
I
God
love
bless
it.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, got it. And then lastly, we have this box here that was designed and presented as an American flag, which is a perfect segue to an event that we have coming up. Lisa, do you mind sharing a little bit more about it, the sweet celebration?
Not at all. So we're constantly, just like our pieces, evolving our chocolate tastings that we offer in our flagship store in Henderson. And in honor of America's 250th coming up, we have started what's called Sweet Celebrations tasting. And again, going back to the Mars family, there's quite a long history there. We're offering it every Saturday, and we're taking you through chocolate history. So it won't be the pieces in those boxes, but there's that bar on your desk. We're going to start with the American Heritage chocolate, and it's going to be a drinking chocolate. So you're going to drink like George Washington did. And then you're going to move on and you're going to taste a Milky Way, which you can say, I've had that before, but they're going to tell you kind of how Mark said, how to experience it, what to think about. We have red, white, and blue M&Ms, and then you'll finish off with an Ethel M Chocolates piece. But again, the whole intent is to celebrate not only our country, but what the Mars family has done, and just that really cool innovation that they brought along the way, and that we all know from our childhood.
That's so much
So,
fun.
yeah, and it's every Saturday through August 1st. I think this Saturday's sold out. out. Last Saturday was sold out. It's family friendly.
So you have to buy
Bring your
tickets for it.
You do. We would encourage you to go to ethelm.com, and there's a limited number of seats in our tasting room. But it's at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's about 45 minutes. Then you can get on with your day.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark and Lisa, let me tell you something. This has been a phenomenal episode. I am so excited to devour the rest of these, and I know Julie is as well.
Don't devour them. Eat them in 2 bites.
Yes,
Right.
2 bites.
Thank you,
Everybody knows the
Julie.
rules. Yes, of course. Where can people, other than going to the actual location, where can people learn more about Ethel M?
Yeah, so like I said, ethelm.com or our Instagram page. I would say just a quick shout out to all the stores around the valley that we have now. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about, stop in. We have a downtown Summerlin store now, which is right outside of Macy's. We have Town Square. We have the Cal Hotel. We have several at the airport, and of course our flagship store. But like I said earlier, our associates are always happy to talk about, kind of like Mark, about our chocolate and how we can help you. Like that flag box, that's a custom box. We can customize any box for you. So come on in and let us help you out.
What are some other designs you've made? Do you remember? Do you know off the top of your
Well,
head?
for the Vegas Golden Nights a few weeks ago, I had a forged in gold box. and
That's
it was
cool.
it was all of our gold liqueur piece, and
That's
that was really
cool.
cool. It didn't really bring us good luck, but yeah.
Well, I bet they were
fun.
well fed at
Yeah.
least. They were well
Yeah,
fed
yeah,
at
that's
least.
right.
Well, Lisa and Mark, this was awesome. Thank you so much. For every Vegas local out there that hasn't had a chance, or even if you have had a chance, go back to Ethel M, to any of the stores you have, or especially the flagship store in Henderson. It's so much fun because there's so much to do and there's so much to learn, and you really do experience chocolate in a different way than just randomly eating it out of a wrapper or a box. You know, you truly get the full experience. But yes, thank you so much for coming in. Julie, do you have any last words before we head on out?
Not really. I'm just waiting to eat more chocolate. But thank you for bringing it.
Well, this is great. Lisa and Mark, thank you again.
Thank you.
Catch new episodes each week on HeyBigHead.com. I am going to have a major sugar crash, but it's totally worth it because I'm going to eat as many as I can. We'll see you next week, everybody.